One of the most difficult areas on the bar in criminal law is conspiracy. And it's difficult because I think you need to know exactly where you are. And you're like, what do you mean where I am? I'm in the bar exam, right? Well, does the fact pattern put you modernly? Does it put you at common law? Or does it put you in a model penal code jurisdiction? Because where you are is critical, because at those three stages, junctures, the law is different. So let's talk first about your default. If you're not told, you follow the modern approach. Modernly, conspiracy is an agreement to commit a crime between two or more persons. That's what is needed. And talk is cheap. So you don't simply need the talk, you need an overt act. That's modernly. At common law, all you needed was the agreement. There was the plurality requirement, right? You needed two or more people, but all you needed was the agreement. There was no need for an overt act. So it was much easier to be found guilty of conspiracy at common law, because at common law, all you need to do was agree. Where do we fall in the middle is the model penal code. Model penal code says if you think you're involved in a conspiracy, then you are. There's only one guilty mind required. What? I mean, sitting around plotting to rob my neighbor is not a conspiracy. Well, there's one person. You said you didn't need to have multiple people. Exactly. But if I think I'm involved in a conspiracy, so like if I'm talking to a cop and I don't know he's a cop, and he goes, oh yeah, sure, I'll help rob your neighbor, then as long as I think I'm involved in a conspiracy, I am, yeah, there would be guilt there under a model penal code jurisdiction. There would not be guilt there if it was modern, because you need two guilty minds, the cops isn't one, or at common law, you need two guilty minds, the cops wasn't one. So the big distinction between common law and modern is that you need an overt act modernly, you didn't at common law. The distinction between both common law and modernly with the model penal code is that model penal code, if you think you're involved in a conspiracy, then you are. Model penal code does not adhere to, does not require the plurality, the two or more guilty minds. Typically, there's going to be two people involved, but there doesn't have to be an actual agreement between them. So that's its testability, right? The second aspect of it then is going to be withdrawal. Well, at common law, you can't withdraw from a conspiracy because all you need to do is agree. So if you agree and then the next day you say, yeah, I don't want to do it, maybe you can get out of the completed crime, but you can't get out of the conspiracy because the agreement was the conspiracy. Modernly, however, because we have this requirement for an overt act, let's say that today you and I agree, yeah, let's rob my neighbor tomorrow. That's an agreement, but it's not yet conspiracy because we haven't completed an overt act. Then tomorrow I go out and I buy ski masks for both of us. There's the overt act. Now, if the next day you want to withdraw, your withdrawal is ineffective to the conspiracy because it came after the overt act. See, for withdrawal to get you out of the conspiracy modernly, it'd have to go agreement on day one, then withdrawal on day two before day three's overt act happened. So really you're looking at the overt act modernly. Did the withdrawal happen before? Good defense. Did it happen after? No defense to conspiracy. Why am I saying no defense to conspiracy? Well, because even though you can't withdraw from the conspiracy once the overt act has happened, you could still withdraw from what? The crime itself, or Pinkerton crimes, right? So if I withdraw effectively, but you continue on and you commit other crimes, the question becomes, what's my guilt? Well, I said if I withdraw effectively. If I withdraw effectively, then I'm not guilty of the conspiracy or any crime that you do in furtherance of it because it's really predicated on the conspiracy. But what happens if I withdraw after the conspiracy? So we agree on day one. There's an overt act on day two. I then withdraw on day three. Well, I'm on the hook for the conspiracy. But on day five, you go ahead and rob. And during that robbery, somebody dies, and now there's felony murder. my guilt is only going to be associated with the conspiracy because my withdrawal was effective, not to the conspiracy because it came after the overt act, but because it came with enough time before the crime was committed. And very important, I must communicate that to you, my co-conspirator, as well, to give you an opportunity to say, do I want to continue on without Chris Fromm, or do I want to abandon it because he's too integral to the conspiracy? If the withdrawal is effective and it's communicated to the co-conspirators, then it effectively gets the withdrawing co-conspirator out of the completed crime and any Pinkerton crimes in furtherance of it. So with conspiracy, a lot of stuff there, my friends. Step one, where are we? Common law, model penal code, modernly, and then look at the elements needed for each one and look at withdrawal under each one. My advice would be take a single sheet of paper or even open up a spreadsheet document and list all three and put the elements needed, because when you get to question 132 on the bar, this may start to be real crazed in your mind, and the ability to pull out exactly what you need is going to be essential. So you got some time before the big test. Take it, use it, and give yourself some confidence.